In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a retro video game title screen in Adobe After Effects. What's going on everyone? My name is Tom for AEJuice, and in this video I will show you how to make this retro game screen using the abstract backgrounds of AEJuice.com. Most of this is done in After Effects, but if you want to use the background that I use in this video, you can check it out through the link in the description down below. There you'll also find how to use the AEJuice Pack Manager, which is a plugin for After Effects that I also will be using in this video. Without any further ado, let's dive straight into the video. So we're here in a new project in After Effects, and I'm going to start a new composition, and I'm going to make this 4K resolution. So that's 3840 pixels by 2160 pixels, and I'm going to call this video game title screen, and I'm going to start out with some text. So you can see the font settings on the right of my screen right here, but the font that I've used is called Sabbath Black OT regular with 500 pixels. If you want to get this font, it's available on Adobe Fonts. So if you have an Adobe subscription, you should get access to this font immediately. Now let's get started on some styling. Let's go to Layer, Layer Styles, and we'll start with a gradient overlay. Now in the drop-down box right here, you can click on the gradient overlay because that appeared just now. And here we're going to click on Edit Gradient. And I'm going to make this gradient from a very dark bluish towards a purple magenta color. Of course, this is all optional and you can play with these colors in whichever way you like. So next what we're going to do is go to Layer, Layer Styles, Stroke, and underneath our gradient overlay should now have appeared this stroke window, and we're going to give this a cyan stroke, and we're going to make that 10 pixels large or thick. And finally, we're going to go to the layer styles one more time, and we're going to use a drop shadow. And under the drop shadow, let's just turn the blend mode to normal, the opacity to 100. We're going to change this color to a similar like purple magenta color. We're going to make the distance 0. We're going to make this spread 25%, and the size will be 75 pixels. This is optional, but I'm going to just turn the noise up just a little bit. If we zoom in, you can see what that does compared to no noise. Let's go back right here. And the next thing that we want to do is, actually I haven't made the length of my composition a significant amount, so let's just go with 5 seconds. And we're going to click on the stopwatch right next to the word spread, and we're going to go to 1 second. I'm going to change this to 75%, and then we're going to go to 2 seconds, and we're going to change this back to 25%. Now I'm going to hold Alt or Option on my keyboard while I'm clicking again on the blue stopwatch next to spread, and I'm going to type in loop out. And what this means is that this keyframe animation that we just made, which looks like this, a little bit slow, so I'm just going to turn the render size to half. But this just means that the keyframe animation will repeat after what it's finished, I guess. So now we just want to select all 3 of my keyframes. I'm just going to hold Alt or Option if you're on a Mac on my keyboard and click and drag until I am at 2 seconds and 15 frames. So right here. So that means that this full cycle of animation will just loop 2 times over the course of 5 seconds, because 2.5 times 2 is 5. Alright, now I'm just going to go right click on the AEJuice layer as a whole and click on pre-compose. I'm just going to call this title. Next we're going to go and use the press start window. So we're going to click on another text here with our text tool, and we're going to just type in press start. And the font that I want to use for this one is called Uniwars. And again, this is also available on Adobe Fonts. So something like this is alright, and just move that to the bottom of the title. And then I'm going to press the letter T on my keyboard, which brings up the opacity, so we can make this invisible. And we want to make this blink. So the way we're going to do that is, again, click on the stopwatch and move our cursor to the 1 second mark, make the 100% 0%, so that's invisible. And then we're going to go to 2 seconds, and we're going to make this 100% again, like fading in and out, as you can see. And we want to actually make this blink. So let's see what's happening here. So we can just click on this little graph icon here, and this is basically the transition of this animation. So all we need to do is select these and go here and click on this one that converts these selected keyframes to hold. And as you can see, now it just makes this hold for 100% until the next keyframe comes, and then it just flashes like that. And the next thing we want to do again is hold Alt or Option on our keyboard, click on the blue stopwatch and type in loop out. And I actually want to have this flash every time for 1 second. This There we go. Now let's make this a little bit more retro. Let's go to effects and presets, and we're gonna search for an effect called mosaic, and you need the one under stylize, and let's just drag and drop that onto our press start, and let's go with our cursor to a moment in time where it's visible, and you'll see that it's only 2 weird gray blocks here, and that's because horizontal blocks would just be 10 blocks of this whole composition. So that's like not enough pixels, of course. So the way that I usually go about doing this, if I enter on the full on size of composition here, and we'll do this as well with the vertical ones. Now we have all of the pixels that are actually required to be in here, and what I just do with this is I divide these by 10. So I press /10 on my keyboard after these, and this means that all the horizontal pixels in our composition are now just 3840 pixels to just 384 pixels. As you can see, this we've just heavily pixelated our image here, and now we just need to click on sharp colors, and there we go. It's a little bit hard to read right now, so what we can do about that is select our text, go back to the character window, click on this VA setting, and just type in 20 or maybe 40. This makes it so there's a little bit more space in between each letter. And again, if you want to change this in any way whatsoever, you're obviously able to do that just fine. For me, actually, I'm just going to leave it like this because I really like the lo-fi effect that it has on this. And we're going to select this mosaic now, press Ctrl or Command C on our keyboard to copy it, and we're just going to select our title again and click on Command or Ctrl V, and we'll just paste that effect right onto the title here, which instantly gets that really cool effect seen in the beginning of the video. And let's fit our composition as a whole again, and let's see what we got so far. So now all we need is a proper background, and what I'm gonna do is, rather than tinkering around in 3D software, I'm just gonna go to AEJuice.com. The link for that again will be in the description, and I'm using the AEJuice pack manager right here, which I can use to just search through all different kinds of packs. And in my case, I'm just going to search for the backgrounds, and I saw a really cool one in the animated backgrounds too. And if you get it for yourself, you could actually browse to all of these abstract backgrounds. And one that I really liked was one of these vaporwave ones, and I think it's retrowave background 1 here that I really liked. So if I double click, it'll automatically be imported right into my project here. So let's just move that to the bottom, and all we need to do now is just make sure that we can also pixelate that. So let's just copy the mosaic effect again and paste it onto our background here. And if we even want to make it more retro or more lo-fi, less high quality, I guess, is we can just divide these numbers by 2, which pixelates them even more. Now this looks very retro, but only thing here is, let me just see if I can just render it for you real quick. And as you can see, it's already looking good, but the movements are a little bit odd if you ask me. And the reason for that is that there's a set frame rate here, and we actually want to have our custom lower frame rate because back in the day, games didn't really used to have that big of a frame rate. So all we need to do is make a new layer, a new adjustment layer that is, and we'll call this posterize. And let's go back to the effects and presets, and we'll search for posterize, and we actually find 2 effects here, and we need the second one, but we can also use the first one in a bit as well. Basically, we can just lower the frame rate to 12 frames per second with this effect without having to alter our actual frame rate in the project. And as you can see, this now looks instantly more retro with the lower frame rate on there. So all that's left to do is we can also add a posterize effect on this, and I'm also going to turn this to 12. And this just means that there's less colors in here to make it even like look dithered like they used to in the retro video game era. So this is the end result. I hope you learned something. And like I said, if you want to get the background that I've used in this video or any other great video editing and motion design effects, you can go to AEJuice.com. The link for that is in the description down below. With all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you guys in the next tutorial.